Yes,
Starting
I am ready.
stream and go live. Starting.
No, look, we got some.
We are live.
Oh, welcome back to episode 10.
Hello, everybody.
Yo.
Welcome back to what's this show?
This is Standing Room Only.
Standing
NY,
Room
and
NY.
Parentheses, a Mets fan podcast.
Yes,
Close
that's what we are.
parentheses.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been 3 months. Sorry,
It has
guys.
Victor had to leave the country.
Yeah, I had to take care of my farm out there. Sorry, guys.
Where?
In
Where'd you
Romania.
go? Romano.
Yeah, it was a good trip. I had a lot of fun.
Did you run into any vampires?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a vampire.
Could be.
Could be.
Almost nighttime.
How was summer in New York?
Summer in New York was same as always, you know. I mean, it's that you know, lots of stuff has happened with personal life, but you know what? We're here for the Mets, and we're here to talk Mets with all of you.
Let's do a toast
Cheers
to the New York Mets.
To the 2019 failed season of the New York Mets.
It wasn't that much of a fail, but
Are we in the playoffs?
no. But I think, granted all the circumstances and drama that followed this team, I think we finished the season quite well.
Yes, we have one person watching, whoever it is.
Yeah. thank you.
Hello.
Oh, I think that might be me. I might have our own link up.
Oh, really? Is
Yeah.
it? No, you don't.
No, I don't. Oh, is this all right?
Anyway.
Perfect.
All right, well, let's get started. So basically,
Yeah.
today is just going to be kind of stream of consciousness. We didn't really prepare anything.
Honestly, we don't even have a script. We're just gonna wing this.
No, but I mean, we have new software technology, and everything has changed. It's been 3 months, and we're rusty. And, shit, we're actually back, so fuck it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would ask,
What's up?
oh, hi, boys, welcome back. Hello, Loki. Hi, Loki. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, send us questions or
Send
whatever.
us questions,
We
your
need-
thoughts on the season.
Please, we need
or
a
whatnot.
script.
So, send us your questions. So I would say, overall, the Mets season, what would you grade it as?
I would grade it as a B.
Justify that for me.
A B. Well, it's like the rotten apples kind of ruined the good bunch that we had. So the Pete Alonso, the Jeff McNeils.
My name
is Jeff.
My name is
Who else do we have? I don't know. JD
Are our
Davis.
heads cut off, or you just scrolled down?
No, I just scrolled down.
Okay,
That would get
good.
really bad. JD Davis. I was a big fan of JD Davis.
You were, yes.
We had 5 Mets who hit 20 plus homers.
Yes.
So I think that was the good bunch that brought us joy to the Mets. However, because of the rotten apples of our terrible bullpen and manager, you got to kind of average it out. And that's why I give the Mets a B on their season.
Okay.
Yeah. But granted, the final play of the season, I think, was the most Mets way we could have ended the year.
Absolutely, yes. And we are, of course, talking about our man,
Dominic
Dom Smith. Yes, Dom Smith hitting that walk-off home run.
Yeah.
To end the game. Yeah, I got his picture
Oh,
up.
awesome.
See, the beautiful thing about this new software actually is that I can actually do both of us,
Oh, look at that. I can
on the
see
screen.
it up. That is awesome.
and it's pretty damn sweet. So I'm gonna check this out real quick. Sorry guys,
Sweet.
I had everything prepared, and then the software got messy. So, boom, there we go. Now there's
Wow, now there's Dom Smith covering me up. Okay. Oh, that's better.
That was covering me up, but sorry.
Okay.
So anyway, so there we go. So yeah, Dom Smith ended the season in a great way. I mean,
With the walk-off homer in the
I was
11th
at that
inning.
game, man, and it was just like the season's over. You're the second to last game still happening, and it's just you had it, and then it was just like, oh, you just felt deflated. Like, we didn't make the playoffs. Everything's fucked, and now we're gonna lose this stupid ass game.
But we swept
And
the
then-
Braves, who are being washed right now by the St. Louis.
11-0 in the deciding game of the NLDS between St. Louis and Atlanta. It's the third inning, and St. Louis is killing them 11-0 with bases loaded and 1 out. It's just I
This
wish
is
I
gonna
was
be
in Atlanta
amazing.
right now.
You're
so I
probably
could
gonna see our
laugh
live reaction.
in the faces of these fucking hillbillies down there with their racist little team. But it was great. Dom Smith hitting that home run, and I was like, how great would it be if Dom, 3 months on the injured
It was 2
list,
months.
comes back, 2 months in the injured list, comes back, and he wins this. It was just
Yeah.
the perfect bookend.
And then you also saw Pete Alonso's 53rd homer? Or
Yeah, I saw the
it?
record
Yeah.
breaker. I saw the record breaker for Alonso, and I mean that was just a hell of a moment. You know, I mean, what I am tired of as a Mets fan is that we have these one or two little victories, and this is a big victory, but we have these victories per season, and we live on that, and then we go home on September 30th, and that's.
But we
that's
played
where it's
meaningful baseball.
We did play meaningful baseball
in September, and I think that's why I was proud of the team. I mean, while I was away, I was following
Yes.
the Mets, and it was cool. Like I was seeing some of the drama that unfolded. I think what messed it up for us was when we lost the series to the Brewers.
Ew! I would
What
grade
happened?
it as a go Yankees.
Ooh, no. Listen, actually,
I mean, we can't poo
we
poo any of
can't.
our
The Yankees-
viewers, but
nah, I mean, the Yankees are in the playoffs. That's it.
oh.
They're in the championship series.
So Loki G has a question. Not to cut
okay.
you off, but you wanna bring up the question? Oh, well.
Oh,
hello.
and this is our third co-host right here.
Hello, everybody. This is Hannah, the new co-host. She's a beautiful little thing. She's a 10-year-old rescue, and she's adorable. She doesn't really.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something? Aww.
Look, wow, we didn't even sync that up. We didn't even practice with her.
Hey, say something. Aww. Are you a Mets fan?
Clearly, she's a Yankee fan. I think by that
Shit.
response.
Holy shit! You are not my cat.
All right, but sorry, Hannah, but you're gonna whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
at this
just
point,
gonna
what's she
leave it.
gonna just watch the drink?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, go to Loki's questions. Are you happy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, get
All
that.
right. Yeah.
Hey, come on,
You
come on,
got a
baby.
cat asshole on camera. All right, Loki's question: are you happy with Mickey being removed, even though we were so close and we just didn't do it? Yeah, I'm freaking happy that he got removed as the Mets manager.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. It's.
I think I was here in New York when that happened.
Were you back when that happened?
Yeah, it was. It was in October, but surprisingly, he finished with the winning record as the Mets manager.
Did he? Sorry about that. See,
Yes,
right
I know.
now I had all these pictures prepared to be able to put up
Oh, but
on
you
the
don't know where
screen,
Mickey Callaway is.
and I think I have this one right here. Yep, and transition. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I'm just trying to make this a little more visually interesting. But yeah, so Mickey, I mean,
So,
sure.
I mean, we look at his managerial record. It was just a hair above 500. He was 160. He had 163 wins and 161 losses. Granted that this was a winning season for the Mets. We were 86 and 76, although we did finish third in our division.
Which
he
let's
had
go
to
back.
go at that point.
Can we go back to the beginning of this right before the season
What?
started? And you and I, Victor and I, had this other wannabe podcast that didn't really take off.
Yeah.
But what we did was our predictions for the baseball season. And do you remember what your prediction was?
Oh, the Mets are going to the World Series.
You not just going. You said.
I said we're winning it.
And what did I say?
That we're gonna finish at the bottom of the NL
That's not what I said.
I don't remember. So
I said the Mets would finish third in the NL East and miss the playoffs by about 2 games. Granted, we missed it by about 5,
Yeah.
but
yo, this cat's gonna be an issue, man.
can you just sit here, girl?
We can just don't go on the laptop, please. Okay. All right.
This is a shit show today.
Yeah, honestly, no.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Okay, Hannah.
Oh. Sorry, guys.
Please just leave. I love you, baby, but come on. she's a fucking mess. Anyway, my predictions were correct. We're not even drunk. We're not drink. Victor, you talk. I'm gonna put her in the bedroom.
We gotta go talk. All right.
All right,
Sorry.
baby. Come on, baby.
I think she's excited for the episode.
She is.
Yeah, to, I guess, continue with what Shane was saying, he was right. He did say that the Mets were going to finish third. I was the very optimistic Mets fan, as Shane always makes fun of me, and I thought we were actually going to go far considering the talent that we had and our new acquisition.
Commander Riker.
However, if Edwin Diaz was able to pitch,
Well, okay. Well, I'll go back to what Loki said.
I mean, here.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, if you're busting my chops on why I thought the Mets were gonna go far, it's because they had a good team. On paper, they had a good team.
They did.
If you told me Edwin Diaz was gonna shit the bed,
I wouldn't-
Familia
yeah.
was gonna have a what?
Familia, I
60
might
RA.
believe it. Familia, I would have believed it.
Like, if you told me that, I would have been like, all right, the Mets are missing the playoffs. But on paper, I thought we had a very sound team.
Yeah. What it comes down to is, in my opinion at least, is just three culprits. Well, the first one being Mickey Callaway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are arguing, okay, he's not on the field. He can't control what the pitchers do. True. That being said, however, he can control how he uses the bullpen. And yes, for the first half of the year, he didn't have much of it. But things clicked with many, especially Seth Lugo and Wilson. What's the kid's name?
Justin Wilson?
Justin Wilson and whatnot. Things clicked. And he didn't have to continually, and he got it the last 2 weeks of the season. He didn't have to continually drag these people out and say, oh, they got this. I think they're just figuring it out now. I think they got this. So his mismanagement of the bullpen, his mismanagement of a great number of things, truly, I was going to say, where were you? You were paused?
Not yet.
Anyway, so his mismanagement of the team, his not knowing when to, like, even you take that last game of the season, classic example of him not knowing where to put players in and where and what.
I think he lucked out with Dom Smith.
He
getting
did
that
luck
walk
out, and I was like, why isn't Dom Smith out earlier? He's keeping Haggerty, nobody Haggerty in there. He's not putting in. He had an opportunity at one point to put in Wilson Ramos, Dom Smith, Juan Lagares. Now, granted, Juan is up and down, mostly down, but he's better than Haggerty.
Yeah.
And he's putting in these no-name players who aren't doing anything. And he's trying to win this game. He's trying to get his pitcher a win. He's trying to end it on a positive note. He's trying to send the fans home feeling good. And to just mess with Atlanta going into the playoffs. And what does he do? He prolongs the game. And yes, it worked out. But like you said, he got lucky. And that's a meaningless decision. Meaningless decisions for a meaningless game. But for weeks and months prior to that, he was making these dumb-ass decisions that hurt this team in a truly detrimental way. He, at the end of the day, is the reason we didn't go, because despite Diaz being a shit show and Familia being a waste of space in life, sorry, dude, it's at least on the field, I should say. Between the white lines, he is a waste. And you could have, say, combined Familia and Diaz led to what would you estimate? 25 lost games?
Yeah.
A more efficient, intelligent, higher baseball IQ manager, I think, could have saved 14 of those. Ultimately, we missed the playoff by 5 games. We missed the playoffs. No reason we couldn't have won the fucking division, especially been in the wild card.
Look, I mean, if you talk about those 12 games, we finished third in the NL East with 11 games behind.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. That's the season right there. And so, despite it being Diaz, sorry, I'm just trying to clean all my stuff off from Hannah destroying Victor's drink. Despite Diaz and Familia messing things up, and of course there are the additional games where the players just didn't hit. That happens on every team. Ultimately, it was Mickey Callaway. So, in a long-winded way to answer your question, Mr. Loki, good riddance.
Yeah, but now the thing is, we have to see who they put in as the new Mets manager.
Well, the top names, I have all the pictures, but I'm not going to waste the time putting them up on the screen because that just takes time away from it.
Well, number 1 is Joe Girardi on that list.
Yes, he is. Personally, I want them to make a true push, and they're kind of just giving up because rumors he wants to go to Anaheim, is Joe Madden.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is Joe Girardi is Joe Torre Part 2. He is exactly that. I don't judge a manager by what he has done with the best team he ever had. I judge a manager based on the worst team he had and what he did with that team. And you look at Joe Girardi, much like Joe Torre with the Mets and his prior manager experience. Yeah. When he was with Florida, when it was still Florida, he had management more similar to the Wilpons, or ownership more similar to the Wilpons, management more similar to how Brody operates things, and a team that cheated, that wasn't developed. Of course, then he goes to the Yankees. He has ownership, which, much I hate to say it, great ownership, gives you all the tools you need, lets you make decisions, doesn't get in your way, an excellent general manager, and players of superior vintage, of ilk, whatever. And so, yeah, he won one. With that group of people, he won one World Series. Now, I'll take one World Series as a Mets fan, but he had the best, and he came out with one. When he had the worst, he got fired because he didn't know how. Now, granted, that was 15 years ago. Maybe he's matured since then. But the last time we had a manager that was fired for being too fiery and not getting along with ownership, who then came around, you got passive little Terry Collins. And yes, we got to the World Series, Terry Collins, but that wasn't because of Terry Collins.
Yeah, that was Cespedes carried the
And we
team.
kind of lost that. Yeah, exactly. We kind of lost a lot of that World Series because of Terry Collins to a certain extent. Not only him. With Joe Madden, on the other hand, here's a man who never played professionally. Here's a man who understands baseball, has an IQ. You saw what he did with
Tampa.
With Tampa. He made them a legitimate team. They didn't win the World Series. The fucking Phillies did, but he made them legitimate. They were developing players. He turned them around. He knows how to turn people who are usually on the bench, and he knows how to sprinkle them in. He knows how to use everyone's a utility man to a certain extent. You know, if Chris Bryant came up with the Mets, he would have stayed at third base. Now, granted, obviously we had Wright, but I'm saying like hypothetically. But no, everywhere else he became an effective left fielder, an effective first baseman. That's Joe Madden. Then he goes to the Cubs. And no more need be said. No more need be said. And yeah, you know, Theo Epstein wants results now. God bless him. You know, but
the Mets should be in a win now mode considering.
Well, I'm talking about Theo with the Cubs, so they got rid of him. But they should. They're at a win now. Do it now. Yeah. Don't waste what we have.
Because we've been sitting. We've been sitting since what I could say 2006. Where we made that playoff push to 2007 we missed it by a game.
Yeah. 2008 and missed it by a game.
And from there we're always just like rebuilding.
13-0 St. Louis. Yeah, we've always been rebuilding. But then we had 2014. Felt like something might happen next year. Then we get to the World Series.
Well, 2015 was I think it was like a highlight of the decade for us.
It was the highlight of the decade for us, absolutely. And usually that's what we get. We get one highlight, decade, a good playoff push, and then we have close or just in. And that's what we had in 2016. So now we're at a point in 2019. We should have been there. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen.
Look at the exception of the Yankees. Game. I mean, look at yesterday's game where it was Tampa Bay and Houston. Mm-hmm. You had Justin Verlander there in Game 4. Which I thought you could have maybe saved him until Game 5.
Yeah, they should. In hindsight, they should have. They just want to get it over with and get ready for the Yankees.
And then you see Tampa Bay. They're kind of still chipping away, and they could pull an upset, and then it'll be the Yankees and Tampa Bay in the championship series.
I mean, everything except for the Yankee series, you know, R.I.P. to the Minnesota Twins, is a Game 5. So that just goes to show you that the Dodgers are facing the Nationals.
The Nationals they could go either way.
It could go either way. I mean, they're going to put Kershaw out there. Kershaw is a hit or miss in the playoffs. They're going to have Strasburg starting. Everyone's going to be ready. Yeah. They might actually win a playoff series.
I know, the Bryce Harper.
And then Bryce Harper's going to be sitting there going, well, you could do the hair better. Yeah. You could do the Bryce Harper. There you go. That little son of a bitch. But, yeah, so anything can happen. We should be there. We should be. So, yeah. So, I mean, I want Joe Madden just because he has the track record of being able to lift a team. This team is perfect for what his skill set is. But he's probably a pipe dream. More likely is
if he goes to Anaheim, I mean, I don't know what team he's going to manage there, but he could also take a team that has been notoriously bad in the AL West and probably turn them around.
Well, I think he wants to work with what everyone calls the best player in baseball, Mike Trout.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, Mike Trout is great, but the playoffs determine who you are in many different ways. And, Pujols had a little bit of a resurgence and whatnot, so I think they might feel like they're on the cusp.
Yeah.
But more likely it's Girardi, and so rumor has it...
It's going to be Joe Girardi that has an in-person interview. According to Ken Rosenthal, the Mets will be interviewing Carlos Beltran and the Diamondbacks farm director, Mike Bell.
God, please no Mike Bell. So Girardi obviously is, doing his job as an announcer right now. Apparently he hired people to vet the Mets a few weeks ago.
Okay.
He wants to see what kind of organization he's coming into because
absolutely
we have a reputation for being one of the worst organizations to work under. So I don't blame him. So we might lose him because of that. Now, I've kind of warmed a little bit to the idea of him in recent weeks because I just kind of prepare myself for that kind of almost being an inevitability.
Yeah.
Carlos Beltran, up until last week, had no interest in coming out of retirement, but now all of a sudden he's kind of like, How do you feel about that? Him having zero managerial experience?
To be honest, unless he's gonna be like Alex Cora when he led the Red Sox to a World Series, I don't think it's gonna be pretty.
I feel like he'll be more like a Robin Ventura who got fired.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be like, I'm so confident that Carlos Beltran is our manager. I mean, he was a great player. I loved him in 2006. He was one of my favorites.
He's the best center fielder we ever had.
Yeah. It just I wouldn't feel confident. Like you said,
Same.
my number one would be Joe Madden. Number two, I would say Joe Girardi. Maybe this is just his second chance in New York for him to prove himself and lead a team that, on paper, you look at this, the talents like Pete Alonso, Jacob deGrom. Hopefully, Lowry will be healthy this season.
I don't even.
But my thing is this. That we have a team with depth, with under Mickey Callaway, granted the injuries and the circus show that happened with Yoenis Cespedes, where we had to scramble players left and right, where we had at one point Dominic Smith playing left field, Jeff McNeil, a natural second baseman, playing the outfield. All these little things, like you said, there were times where he lucked out and things went well for him. With a manager that has experience like Joe Girardi, who with the Yankees, he has had players that have done well. And I think if we have this pool of players that will probably stay the same, maybe we'll get an acquisition here or two. I know you're really big on getting Rendon.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But
if the team
depends on what happens tonight.
Yeah, but if the team stays as is, I would feel confident that they would do better than they did this season.
I agree. Under a different
manager, I think the team will do a lot better. There's rumors, I think, with Pedro Martinez, he said that he wanted to go to the Dominican Republic and work with Edwin Diaz on improving whatever happened to him, whatever he had in Seattle. That's what we need from Edwin Diaz, not the New York Edwin Diaz that happened. So if there's players that are going to reach out to him and actually work on his mechanics, work on his pitching, any selection, I'd be more than glad. I would give Edwin Diaz a second chance.
You have to. I would say keep Lugo as a closer until Diaz proves himself.
Yeah.
Get him in the setup role, ease him into it. Familia we're stuck with because of the contract. He has zero trade value, unfortunately.
But
I'd put him in low.
I would put him for like cleanup duty.
Yeah.
If the Mets are getting rocked or the Mets have like a 10-run lead, put in Familia.
Yeah.
And
because we're going to have Gesellman back. And if he can continue being his usual self, then he's not great, but he's definitely better than Familia. So you have Gesellman, you have Justin Wilson.
Yeah.
You have Edwin Diaz. If you can figure it out, you have Seth Lugo. And among others who are very good.
Who have come out of left field. Going to starting pitching now. Look.
Oh, hey, let's go back to the managers real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because there's some others. AJ Hinch might be one from Houston, which all depends on whether or not they win the World Series this year or how far they get. He's another one talking about. They're talking about right now. Dusty Baker is supposedly also getting an interview. Which I'm kind of like, Buck was great back in the day. I just don't think he's got it in him anymore. And because he's someone who he's very angry and he holds a grudge, and when he's in a downtrodden situation, it shows and it reflects on the team. And being part of Baltimore, you really saw he can't take a management and a front office and a team that isn't doing what they're supposed to. He's not inspiring anybody to do anything. Now, I like the fact that he'll call a motherfucker out, but I don't want him for that. But Dusty Baker is fun loving. I think it's like I don't think he's got the magic anymore.
Okay,
based on how he was with the Nationals and so forth. AJ Hinch, brilliant. I would take him over Joe Girardi, but that's just me. Just because of what he did with the Astros, very similar to what Madden did with the Cubs and Tampa before him. Eduardo Alfonso is one they're talking about. He's the greatest second baseman we ever had to date, and he is managing. And he managed the Brooklyn Cyclones to the Penn League. They won the championship.
There was a list that I saw on a Mets fan page. Let me pull it up, and it pretty much had the odds of every Mets manager going up. So this is from NYM_news. So it says the Mets next managerial odds. So Joe Girardi is 5-1, Dusty Baker 6-1, Luis Rojas 6-1 as well. We go down the list. Bob Green, Buck Showalter.
Guerin, you mean?
What was it?
It's supposed to be Bob Guerin, but
Guerin. It's Ridden Green.
he was a bench coach under
yeah.
Terry.
Other names: Manny Acta, 8-1 odds. Then you kind of jump to Carlos Beltran, David Cohn, Alfonso, Gibbons, Ventura. They're all 12-1 odds. And then as we go down through
Quinn
the list,
Hurdle, I've heard, yeah.
Hurdle, Cora, Joey Cora, Joe Madden. Oh, Joe Madden is a 20-1 odds. John Franco, 20-1 odds. David Wright, 25-1.
Well, now they're just pulling shit out the ass.
Jessica Mendoza, 25-1.
Oh!
Wait.
Oh my God! I love Jessica Mendoza beyond words.
The last name
Since
on this
high
list.
school, I've loved her.
Terry Collins. What would you say if Terry Collins came back as the New York Mets manager? Would you quit being a Mets fan?
God, I don't even fucking know. What would I do if Terry Collins was a
That would be hilarious. That would be the most New York Mets thing to do.
It would be, wouldn't it? Can we get Jessica Mendoza though?
No, I'd be happy.
Is that a thing? Like, can we do that? Jessica
We'd make
Mendoza.
history, first female manager.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sorry, my whole mind is just on that right now.
Yeah.
That she knows baseball though. Jessica
She
Mendoza.
does.
For anyone who doesn't know who she is I think a 2-time or 3-time Olympian gold medalist in softball. She was like, she's basically the Babe Ruth of softball. I just put it to you that way. She's the Babe Ruth of softball,
Yeah.
and she is brilliant. She's a commentator on ESPN. She knows her shit better than A-Rod does on there.
What if A-Rod is going to be?
You know, he's
What if
a lifelong
candidate?
Mets fan, and he's better with players than most people think. Like, he
Yeah.
is a mentor to players. And
I'd be happy if A-Rod.
I actually wouldn't mind A-Rod being
I would
our
take
manager.
A-Rod over Carlos Beltran. If it
Absolutely,
comes
absolutely,
from a former player
absolutely.
with zero managerial experience, I would do that.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000,000,000,000,000%. But, wow, Jessica Mendoza, she knows her shit. I think
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. That'd be like that show Pitch.
No, I didn't watch it, no.
Oh, it was such a good show. It lasted one
Okay.
season with Kylie Bunbury and Mark Parr-Gosselaar, Zach
Mm-hmm.
Morris, and it was about the first woman pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
And it was a really good show. And just no one watching on Friday nights on Fox. No one's watching that
Yeah.
shit. Now SmackDown's got that time slot. Good luck to them. But it was a great show. So I mean, that would be history in the making. But I know it's not going to happen. So I just got to get off my pipe dream of Jessica Mendoza being on my team. That'd be so great. But yeah, it's going to be Girardi. I think.
I mean, we'll stay on top of the Mets managerial updates, and hopefully in our next episode, the Mets will announce their next manager.
Well,
Any question?
Michael G says, "Hey man, wrestling doesn't suck that bad." I'm not saying wrestling sucks that bad. I'm saying,
Dude, I haven't watched wrestling since I was like 12.
well, yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm just saying, like, the idea of it being on Fox at 8:00 on a Friday. It's Fox. Friday nights are known as the kiss of death, and they paid $1 billion
Yeah.
for that. They have to have supreme ratings.
Mm-hmm.
WhatCulture.com has great videos on this as to what they have to do to not get canceled.
Yeah.
And it's just with everything going on and how I mean, you don't know any of this, but they botched their last pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
The best story they had in a long time, possibly years, they completely botched in their pay-per-view, and the fans are screaming refund and AEW because it's a new
Wow.
promotion that's out, and so on and so forth. So I'm not saying that wrestling's that bad. Well, I mean, with Vince McMahon, everything's bad. You're fired. But I'm just saying the ratings that you need to get for $1 billion. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. He's still mad at hell. Yeah, right? They ruined the Fiend, dude. They ruined the fucking Fiend. You don't know any of this shit.
I have
They
no
ruined
idea.
the Fiend. And fucking Seth Rollins, the face of the franchise, I got so much on my plate. My wife is better than me. She straps it on and takes me every night. And I got this freak case. I got this. And now when it burn it. I spent my whole career. Now I'm a face and I'm baby face, and now I'm the Beast Slayer. One match. Did Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker ever base their whole gimmick on one match? No. Sorry, the pay-per-view rubbed me the wrong way. But WWE fans and Met fans, we're basically the fucking same. It's like the Jets, the Mets, and WWE. We keep going back, hoping it's going to get better. And then what happens each and every time?
You're disappointed.
Yes. I mean, but it's easier to fix wrestling because it's a script. Anyway, I digress. It's not a wrestling show. Anyway, if you're wondering
True.
why we don't have that many bobbleheads, it's because our good friend Nicola borrowed them for a web series. They will be back next show.
Yeah.
You want to go position by position now?
Well, that is what she said. Let's go to starting pitching.
Let's not bring up your vacation on the.
Starting pitching. Let's see who the Mets are going to. I mean, if the Mets keep Zach
Back-to-back
Wheeler.
Cy Young winners, probably. Cy Young winner.
Oh yeah, don't jinx it. But I'm hoping. I have my fingers crossed for that. It's going to be between him and Scherzer again.
No, it's going to be him and Ryu.
And Ryu.
I think
Oh
so.
yeah, from the Dodgers.
Yeah. But Jacob, what he did the second half,
Amazing.
beautiful.
But he kind of last year it was also kind of what he did in the second half as well.
Yeah.
Kind of. So then, if Syndergaard, Stroman, if the Mets re-sign Wheeler and Steven Matz,
Well, he's not a free agent yet.
but if they extend his contract,
I think time will tell on that one.
Yeah.
I think they'll see what they have with Thor, because he has no trade value right now anyway.
man, how unfortunate.
But you know what? Pitchers get that down season.
Yeah.
Pitchers will get that down season. He's not a very flexible guy. That's also what she said. But he's not very flexible in his mentality about things.
Okay.
You hear them talk, like Gary Keith and Ron talk about. He's very rigid. He gets very down on himself. You have a crisis of confidence with some of these pitchers. Jacob deGrom is a god, but Thor, when he screws up, he carries that with him.
Yeah.
And he can't shrug it off. Matz, like he says, he's got zero confidence in his. And Darling's like the second he realizes how good he is, there is no limit for the kid.
Yeah.
Wheeler, solid.
Yeah.
So he's finally becoming. Not what we hoped he would be. We hoped he'd be like DeGrom, but he's finally becoming a solid player.
But I remember when we had Matt Harvey on the team, this was kind of like the Fab Five
Yeah, it was
that we
supposed to
had.
be.
And I mean, you.
Plus Cologne.
Oh yeah, you forgot about Cologne. But you kind of take out Matt Harvey and you put in Marcus Stroman, which that trade, by the way, that I did not expect it.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I think because that was a trade to be like, all right, Vargas is good right now, but fuck him, get rid of him.
Oh, we gotta make a tribute video to Jason Vargas. He was the reason why we started the show.
To say goodbye.
All right, don't sing.
Jason!
Yeah, it was because of Jason Vargas is why we started this show. But going back to the Mets starting pitching, if they stay healthy, I'm confident in this team as well.
Ooh, Michael says Cologne has an autobiography coming out.
Nice.
That's going to be a great read.
I wonder what
I don't
he's
read,
gonna-
but I'll listen to the audio novel of that.
I wonder what he's gonna say about the Mets.
I think he enjoyed his time here.
Yeah.
Why not? He went to a World Series.
Yeah.
He hit his first home run.
Dude,
He's big sexy, baby.
that is, I think, the greatest home run call ever.
It is.
Yeah.
The impossible.
The impossible has happened.
I mean, you got skinnier and sexier. I got fatter because I'm trying to take up the mantle of big sexy after him. So
You gotta change.
I'm on my way.
You gotta get his jersey, number 40, big sexy on the back.
Right? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should.
Yeah, do
I
it.
should.
You could probably still get it online.
Or you can just make the custom. Anyway.
Oh,
Oh, my
and then
God!
the
The Rays
Braves.
got to run.
What is it?
13 to 1.
Josh Donaldson carrying this team on his.
No. Go home, pricks. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's a crisis of confidence with them. They have. I'm sorry, my slippers are all up in your shit.
Not you're all good.
But I think they just need to. He needs to figure it out. Would you keep Yoda the pitching coach?
No, he got fired. Riggleman.
Riggleman was the bench coach. Yoda was the old man.
Oh, Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
You keep Yoda.
No, I wouldn't. Hold on, I got a link.
I gotta say though, that 82-year-old man, that pitching coach, he runs faster than I do.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Hold on, I got a link from someone. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, it was the Bartolo Colon. My friend.
Ooh, big sexy! Can I show this?
Mikey from Queens. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this, everybody. Wait, no, let me bring down the.
Brightness.
What the fuck?
What are you trying to do, bud?
I don't know how to work these ancient ass phones of yours.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I got an iPhone 8. I don't have a.
Hey, in Romania, that's like top notch. Sorry, is that racist?
You're fine, bud. Don't worry. I guess I'll lean into the camera and show everyone.
You gotta lower the brightness.
Lower it. All right.
Dead air. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Shane,
Oh, this is Big Sex. All right, never mind. It's
Yeah.
it's Bartolo Colon holding a book instead of a sandwich. Okay, so yeah. Oh my God! Don't hit the fucking table. So
Sorry,
it's
it was
Bartolo
funny.
Colon holding a book. Anyway, so
New York
So-
Times, a future New York Times bestseller. It was posted up by Met City.
there you go. So we got rid of Jason to get Strowman, and Strowman struggled a little bit, but then he came into his own. So we have a solid 5. If Mats can have confidence and Thor can have a resurgent year of just trusting himself, I think, and not holding on to losses, because you can't do that. You just can't do that. First base, well, catching situation. First of all right, rant time.
Go,
How
Shane.
fucking painful is it, Met fans, to see fucking Vulcan face, not as good as his brother, but somehow got to the right fucking team, Travis
Darno.
fucking no, on the Tampa Bay Rays going to game 5. Yes, he's 2 for like 17 in the series, but it's so painful to see that little shit. And here's the thing. Wait, who's Tampa facing and whatnot?
Astros.
The Astros, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're facing Houston.
That's right, because they were in the wild card game.
Yeah.
And it was like, normally I would want the Rays to win in that game, but not with Darno on it. It's just...
At least there was one Met that made it to the playoffs.
I hate him so much. So
You know what? As much as he got booed in his career as a Met and the disappointment that we went through, you know what? Good luck in Tampa, Darno.
You're a nicer human being than I am.
I am. I'm a nice guy. Nice guy, Victor.
Well, that's what happens. You're on vacation for 3 months. You come back fucking
you come back
refreshed.
and I'm just like, yeah.
I'm like, hey, you still good for time? He's like, yeah, bro, I'm just working these pecs out and shit, getting my fucking shit in and whatnot, doing my squats and my planks and whatnot. And I'm at work, looking at a computer, trying to fix somebody's flight reservation because
That's all right. At least we're doing an episode today.
I'm the bitch at work. Anyway, so
going back. All right, so
that's true because you're my bitch. So what does that say about you?
Oh, we probably got demonetized.
Oh, oh no! There goes our next vacation. I was really counting on that YouTube money. Anyway. Oh, wow.
What happened?
What did
Okay,
you touched the...
I touched the wire.
Anyway, so catching, we have Wilson Ramos.
He's gonna stay.
He's going to stay. And you know what? I would like him to lose a little weight because he's starting to look like Big Sexy and he has the same number. But he was pretty solid. And then we have fucking Nito.
That was a
Tomas
shoo-in
Nito.
because the Mets were probably so lazy to get a backup catcher that they're just like, we'll probably just need Nito once in a
No,
while.
my issue with Nito is the Syndergaard issue.
What, that Syndergaard always wants.
He's like, I want my personal catcher. Like,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that we need, and maybe Joe Girardi can do this. We need a manager to say, guess what, bitch? You get
ain't
the
getting
catcher.
it.
You get the better catcher, the one who calls the better game, the one who can hit better, the one who can feel better. Not Tomas Nito being like, oh. And that's another thing. That last game, he's lucky that Dom Smith hit that thing because he kept Nito in. Even when Storr was out of the game, he kept Nito in. A guy who can maybe hit a base hit every 22 at bats, as opposed to Wilson Ramos hits a home run every 5. Fuck out of here. But you're gone, Mickey. But
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Wilson Ramos' stats for the year in 141 games.
I would have Rene Rivera back, to be honest with you.
Same.
And he was on the team, but I would rather have Rene Rivera back.
Yeah, he hit 14 homers, 73 RBIs.
Michael G
What is
says, can't wait for Dusty Baker to become the manager so I can jump off a bridge. I mean, which bridge?
Verrazano? I don't know.
You know how many people actually killed themselves on the Verrazano?
Really?
Yeah, apparently it's a thing.
Oh,
I guess it's easy. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Anyway,
That's a high-ass bridge. I'd be scared.
it is because all the big ships have to go through there.
Yeah.
Isn't like the Brooklyn Bridge or something like that. I mean, either way, you're hitting that on any bridge, but whatever. I digress. Anyway, don't jump off a bridge. We don't advocate suicide. We only advocate
Good vibes.
anyway, good vibes. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
so we have
and then you
Tomas
compare
Nito.
it to Tomas Nito's stats. He had 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and what did he bat? 277. So it's not stellar. He's probably at best a backup catcher.
Backup.
Yeah, he's a backup
They
catcher.
need to stop with the whole personal catcher thing and just leave it alone and just have it just leave it alone.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so
let's
first
go
base.
First base. I mean,
you got two people at first base and they're both excellent.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It sucks that we don't have the DH.
It does.
Because it would be great to have Dominic Smith and Pete Alonso in the same lineup without having to either platoon them or have one in the outfield with whatever the
Yeah.
case is. I mean, do you want to break down Pete Alonso's stats?
Do we really have to?
Let's just do it because 53 home runs, 120 RBIs.
Is that a lot?
That is a lot of RBIs. Wow, he's the only. Wow, I think he has more RBIs than Ramos. If I'm just looking up Cano, and who else kind of slacked this year? And Juan Lagares.
Well, we're going position by
Doug,
position.
yeah.
We're going position by position. So, I mean, Pete, obviously, we have the Rookie of the Year. We have the current leader of the team when it comes down to it.
And isn't that crazy? The year that we lose, I mean, in 2018 when David Wright retired, in 2019 we had this kid just step up.
I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's what it comes down to. I mean, I'm not going to say he's the next captain or anything like that because why isn't it doing it? I was trying to do something fun. Here we go. I mean, yes, it is great. It's very, you know what it's very similar to? It's very similar to Jeter showing up right after Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. But better. So yeah, I mean, we have a solid defense and offense because, you know, if God forbid Pete goes down for any length of time, which eventually is going to happen, as everyone gets injured at some point. You got Dom Smith there, who's a better fielder and who is a legitimate hitter.
Absolutely.
And he's not going to hit 53 home runs, but he's going to, I mean, if he had a full season.
If he could easily reach 20.
Yeah. So here I have up on the screen, Pete Alonso sets Mets home run record. Isn't that just gorgeous? Anyway, so first base is solid. Second base is an issue, is one of my biggest issues that I have.
We have Robinson Cano, Jeff McNeil, who should be in that second base position, and kind of Jed Lowry, who was missing.
And Joe Panic.
Yeah, and Joe Panic, who I thought that was a decent pickup.
It was decent. It was
a fair pickup. Yeah. I think it's still gonna go to Robinson Cano just because he has the big contract. He's
gonna be 37.
The veteran on the team.
He's gonna be 37. He's on the IL, like an average of 3 to 4 times a year. It's gonna give plenty of opportunity to Jeff McNeil to go back there, and assuming Lowry's.
But hats off to Jeff McNeil for being probably, if there was an award for Utility Man of the Year, it should go to him.
It should. It absolutely should.
Yeah,
because he's second base, third base, left field. He's brilliant. I mean,
absolutely.
There are utility men who do more than that, but he's solid. He's solid as can be. Shortstop, Ahmed took a bunch of steps forward this season. He
15 homers this year.
Yeah,
72 RBIs.
He did well.
Fine. I think his batting average 287, which is amongst the highest on the team. Mm-hmm. And I was happy to see.
I was happy with him this year.
Ahmed Rosario.
And I was wrong. They do say that Robinson was actually a very good influence on him. Mm-hmm. And what do I know? I'm not there. But I think he had steady mentorship straight from Jose through to Cano, mm-hmm. and it seems to have helped. Seems to have helped, especially with hitting. And Cano definitely knew more about hitting, and Jose knew more about fielding as far as like shortstop goes, and not just having this complete innate ability to. I mean, Robinson is a lackadaisical player because he's never really had to work at it, as far as fielding goes. But hitting, it was a huge step up. And then we have third base.
Todd Frazier.
The Todd father, who was really good this year, ultimately.
Yeah, and he stepped up clutch in some situations that I was very surprised.
But I don't want him. Because, as you mentioned before...
I think he's going to go on a decline, I would say.
Well, he's older. Yeah, I think so too. It seems
he's
to be
33.
How his career goes up and down, up and down. I want Rendon. I think.
But are the Mets going to shell out that money to sign Rendon?
I don't think he's going to get this monster contract. I really don't.
Do you think it's going to be the same situation where people wait out like they did in the previous offseason with Bryce Harper?
I don't think so because
Manny Machado. Or do you think people are just going to be signing off?
I think Rendon is a solid player who flies under the radar because he's not a superstar. He's a star. He's not a superstar. He's not flashy. He doesn't carry all the, clicks and whistles, bells and whistles, and stardom that comes with, Scherzer or Cespedes or at least back in the day, Cespedes or Harper or someone or Machado or someone like that. I think that he's more of a Nolan Arenado type.
Yeah.
And flies under the radar. And I think he'll get a very handsome contract, more than any of us are ever going to see in our life. But he will not get this star-studded thing, this like enormous paycheck. So I think people will go for him. I don't think they'll wait on it. I think by the end of the winter meetings or the general manager meetings, whatever second, I forget. I think he'll have a team.
Okay.
I think a lot of it depends on what happens tonight.
Yeah.
Just tonight, and let alone if they advance tonight, then if they advance to the World Series, anything can happen.
I mean, do you think? Actually, no. I think it was a big reason that Bryce Harper left because they couldn't make it past the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So maybe is this a sign for Rendon to be like, all right, I think I'm going to take this the same steps as my other teammate did.
I think. I don't know.
Like, depending on how this game goes, you're absolutely right. Maybe Rendon goes like, all right, how does my time here with the Nationals look like?
Mm-hmm. I think it also looks like is our team an aging team? Is our team on the cusp of something great, or are we in the decline? Harper's was around long enough that he was with Jason Worth, and he was there, a year or two after Strasburg got there, and he saw the uptick, and then he saw the bad moments, and then he saw how they did mediocre-wise in like 2015. Then they're still good, but they're not the powerhouse they once were.
Yeah.
And I think it's a matter of that. Like, yes, you have Juan Soto, and yes,
I
Strasburg
think
had
it's
the
going to
best
take
year
a
ever
bit of time
him.
for Juan Soto to develop.
Yeah, and so I don't think they're on the cusp of greatness. They're on the decline. So then you look at a team. I think part of it was Harper saw the Phillies and said they're going to give me all this money, and they're on the uptick. At least they appeared to be.
Yeah.
The Mets, on the other hand, have proven that they are on the uptick, and they're getting there.
Were you surprised with how the Phillies finished?
No, they're the Phillies.
No, I mean, being objective now, not being like,
objective.
I'm a
watching
Mets fan.
them play all year. Watching them play all year. All the curses and the
They finished
legends.
at fourth place at 500.
Yeah, I that's exactly where I expect them to end up. Exactly where I expect them to end up. I don't see they're missing that thing. They're missing a good manager. They're missing a special spark and oomph. They've got a lot of players who are young who don't appear not to get it. To get what it fully takes to get over that hump and the work they have to put into things. So I expected that. Okay. On the other hand, they put a lot on Harper. They put a lot on Harper. And when you're getting that paycheck,
absolutely.
But they're not there. They're trading for Jason Vargas. They're not trading for a Thor when Thor had market value. They traded for a Jason Vargas. That told you right there what the front office. That tells you right there what the front office is thinking as far as their playoff run. And so while it appeared completely different in December of last year or January of this year, now in October the Phillies look completely different. Whereas the Mets had nothing going for them. That they even bring up that kid, that new first baseman. Maybe he'll hit 10 home runs.
There you go, and he proved everyone wrong.
And the Mets, like Urinating Tree, which is a great sports channel on YouTube, hilarious. He shits on everybody, and he usually shits on the Mets. But he's like, I gotta say, if anyone in this playoff hunt right now, this is like 2 weeks ago, his video was like, the Mets have earned a spot. They're not going to get there, but they should. The Mets have proven that they're the team to go to in the East if they give you the right contract. And I think a Rendon would be a very good marriage of that. You trade Todd away, or you keep him on the bench.
And we get some. We have some.
Because you're not getting any pitchers. You're not signing any outfielders.
Yeah, but I think
we're not signing anyone.
No, not saying that we're gonna sign. But
I'm saying, where are you spending your money?
Yeah, if our money goes, or maybe the Mets are gonna pocket it and wait till next year where they have to pay big contracts.
Yeah.
With the Mets, if they do trade, you say it actually happens. The Mets sign Rendon, they trade Todd Frazier. They should try to bolster that bullpen a little bit.
They should, but it's such a crapshoot. I think they're going to stick with what they got.
Yeah.
And be like, let's figure it out. We can't get rid. What are we going to do with Familia? We can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
We have to try to figure it out. We got Justin Wilson. We got Gesellman coming back. We've got Lugo. We've got Diaz.
We just got to hope they stay healthy. And whoever fills in their roles whenever they do get injured,
It's a
they
big
do
thing.
better. Yeah.
It's a big thing. But beyond that, and probably with the bullpen, it's just going to be small signings anyway. We don't have anywhere to spend our money. And you said something to me when we were talking about our hypotheticals for the lineup next year. Is if Cespedes doesn't come back, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of insurance money
getting
that's coming back.
So now that we're about to move to the outfield with J.D. Davis, then you get that money. You could put that towards a Rendon.
Yeah. I
And yes, some of that money's going to be tied up in extending Wheeler.
Yeah.
But you can get a Rendon. And
You
then
could.
think about that lineup. Say Cespedes never comes back. In leadoff, you got Brandon Nimmo. In second, they're going to put Alonso, but it should be Jeff McNeil. My name is Nev.
But arguably, you put your best.
I know.
hitter
I'm still in the old
yeah.
mentality. The best hitter's third, but I get it. I would put but the two guys who get they should
But I
be the
would
two
put-
guys who get
alright.
the best on base percentage, and
Yeah.
that's Nimmo and that's McNeil, and they're the two fastest dudes. I would put them there and let
Yeah.
Pete and
Drive
then
them home.
Michael Conforto and then JD and then Rendon.
Yeah.
And or Rendon then Conforto, depending on the lefty righty
Yeah.
matchups, and then JD Davis, and then Wilson
You're
Ramos, and then Rosario, and then the pitcher. And look at that lineup,
It's
how
stacked.
sturdy that fucking is. You put Todd in there, it's a lot less sturdy. You put Cano in there, it's a lot more question marks. You put Rendon in there, when you're switching off Cano, when you're switching off Nimmo, when you're switching off this, that, and the other thing,
You're right.
anchor. He is an anchor. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But now going to
Left field.
Left field. So I guess our left fielder is JD Davis.
It is. I have an issue with JD Davis because of his.
I like JD Davis.
I know you do. I look at him as Murphy Part 2, only less annoying as a personality. Because in the playoff hunt, he made numerous stupid
But
non-plays.
he's not a left fielder. That's the thing.
I'm
he's
sorry.
a
They're,
third
they're,
baseman.
I get that. I'm not talking about the stuff where you have to do something fancy and really.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Fly
You
balls.
don't even move, and he's just like,
But there's other times where he's made good catches.
He's like Daria. Old people will get that.
But if you think, if it's spring training he takes the left field role a lot seriously, I think he'll do much better than he did.
I
this
do
year.
agree. I do.
And look at him. Considering the playing time that he's had, where so he's played 140 games, where he wasn't a starter in all of them. But look at his stats: 22 home runs, 57 RBIs, and he batted .307. You're telling me that you wouldn't want that in your lineup?
No,
and
I
you'd
do.
rather have him come off the bench?
I do. I absolutely do.
And when we got him from the Astros, we traded away nothing.
What do you do if Cespedes does come back?
I don't think he's gonna be healthy. I think he's gonna play 80 games.
So we're talking about we're having two players, one in the infield, one in the outfield, the Cano and the Cespedes.
That are both gonna play 80 games. Yeah,
They'll probably alternate games.
they'll alternate. Yeah, absolutely right. And then we're gonna.
Jeff plays when Ces plays.
We'll be
and
platooning a lot of
JD
guys.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I am.
I'd
too.
rather have a versatile lineup than to have one that never changes.
Agreed.
But I'm not. I wouldn't put my chances on Cespedes coming back and being super healthy.
I wouldn't either, but
I mean, you go to center field with either this is going to be Juan Lagar's natural spot, and then
Would you
Michael
resign him?
Conforto. No, I wouldn't give him as much money.
I wouldn't resign him at all.
I wouldn't see him. I would only see him being a backup in case one of our, whether J.D. Davis,
But is he-
Conforto, or Nimmo get injured.
But is he worth the money as a backup?
No, he's not worth backup money.
Yeah, he's
Not
not.
at all. I'd rather bring up some guy from AA or AAA who has a shot and will, I don't know, play maybe 45 games versus paying Juan Lagares. Well, how much money does he make? Like $12 million now?
I don't know, but he makes too damn much for what he did. My whole thing is with Juan 911. While we've had some great moments with him, we've hit the ceiling with him.
$9 million.
We saw what he did when he got his contract. He Tejada'd that shit. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Juan Lagares Tejada'd shit once he got the contract. He never put in the effort, and even, I imagine he put in the effort this year because he wants that contract. We don't need that.
I mean, look at so what Shane's alluding to is in 2015, he was making just above 500,000. Once he got the contract in his first year in 2016, he was making 2.5 million, and he only played 79 games, and that's because he was injured. Then you look at the following season, he played 94 games. 2018, he only played 30. So
Because he
of
stopped
his-
being the everyday center
Yeah.
fielder.
but because of
Because of
injuries.
his lack of production.
Yeah, but it's also his injuries.
Injuries, but also his defense was stunted.
His defense was stunning, but I would say
But
his
even
defense.
when the years where he was healthy, though, he wasn't injured that much.
Yeah, but he was probably one of the better defensive men. That's why he had the Gold Glove. However,
Oh, shit.
you're right.
Yeah. I mean, look at it this way.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, for a role in center field, you look back at a guy like Carlos Beltran. He was a center fielder that could play the field and hit. He didn't hit, and that's why he's
He didn't
sitting
hit.
on the bench.
Yes, he didn't hit. And also, how many teams can say they're in the World Series and they have a Gold Glover center fielder and he doesn't start?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That speaks volumes about every aspect of Juan Lagarza's play. We don't need him. We got Nimmo.
Yeah.
Conforto can play center field.
And I think if we don't sign him, we save a lot of money as well,
We
and
do.
you could probably put that money towards a different contract.
Yeah, yeah. So center field, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Nimmo now he's back. You know, as long as he can stay
I
healthy.
was happy that he was.
Yeah,
healthy.
he's great. I
come
love
back.
Nimmo.
Yeah,
Happiest man in
Nimmo,
baseball.
I think he's like, I don't know. He kind of brings the morale.
He
up in
does.
the guys.
He does.
as well.
He does. He absolutely does. And then we have right field, which is
Michael
Conforto.
Conforto, which he had a stellar season.
did.
33 home runs, 92 RBIs.
We'd be talking a lot
second
more
most on
about
the
it
team.
if it wasn't for Pete.
Yeah, and I think he's only going to go uphill from here. He's going to be, I think, one of the elite outfielders if he continues on this trend in the major leagues.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. He's never going to be a defensive whiz, but
that's fine.
the corners are always about
Yeah.
offense more than anything else, and he's got it. He's got it.
Absolutely. And then instead of going through
bench.
all the bench, I mean, Jed Lowry. Do you have high hopes for him next season or no? He's
No.
35. He played this season. He played only in 9 games.
No.
In how many at bats? In 7 at bats, he put up goose eggs. Yeah, he walked once.
No, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, no, I don't care about Jed Lowry at all.
So you have for him, he could just be a wash. It doesn't even matter.
don't matter for him.
Okay,
I
I would give him a chance. think
I would
he'd
give him a chance.
Yeah.
If the bench isn't filled with some, if we got Rendon and kept, if we had a 5-man bench of, I know it's going to be Nito. So Nito.
Yeah.
So for Smith. Let's assume Cespedes is coming back. Let's just assume that.
Yeah. Okay.
We have to.
Yeah.
With that contract, and he's going to be playing for a contract somewhere else.
Yeah.
You have to assume Nito, Smith, Cespedes, Davis.
Yeah. And then who else would you have?
Then we say we get
Joe Panic, or we get Rendon, but he's going to be
Rendon.
your everyday guy. Say at this
So
point.
then you have Todd.
well,
Todd's your backup, but you should get rid of him.
Yeah.
But say you don't right away because the ceiling isn't that high, and then who's the fifth man? You need the outfielders. J.D. Davis, the fifth man, and
well, it's either
left
between-
field. You've got Smith. You've got McNeil. You've got
Yeah.
J.D. Then you got Cespedes in ascending order of
Yeah.
who's the better fielder. And then in the infield you have Jeff/Cano.
Yeah.
On your bench. You have Nito and the catcher. Say you're keeping either Lowry, Panic, or Todd Frazier. Mm-hmm. But Todd Frazier's probably even one you would keep above the other two because at least he can produce
Yeah.
a little bit and he can play third base. And then you need a backup shortstop. Is that Lowry really anymore? Or is that, unfortunately, Guillorme?
Maybe you give Guillorme some more playing time.
I don't
You
think that's ever
it
going to
would
happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I mean,
He
did get the
a
rally
young
started
guy.
in the West.
He's 24 years old.
Guillorme's only 24?
Yeah.
He looks old.
He looks like he's 34. But with 61 at bats, he's had 15 hits, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs.
He's not good, but that's the thing. I don't like Lowry at short. I don't like Guillorme at short. I don't like
Yeah.
Panic at short. So you're gonna have to figure that shit out. Unless
Yeah.
you start giving McNeil play at shortstop for the backup.
No.
Exactly.
I wouldn't see that happen.
Exactly. They got to figure that out. unless Rendon can back him up at short. I mean, Wright did play short once or twice when Jose wasn't playing. But I don't know. Well, I mean,
aside from that, that's pretty much.
But if you don't get Rendon, then Todd's your starter, or McNeil. Todd and McNeil your starter, and then you have room for Joe and whatnot. But you know that it's a good problem to have if you get Rendon. It's a good problem to figure out. And
who else should we go? We talked about the managers.
Well, finally.
What do you want to?
Finally, one of the things what I would do if I was, what was that segment we had?
Wow, we're so unprepared.
Anyway, you said the segment of like what would you do?
Yeah.
And I said retire more numbers. Hallelujah.
Yeah. You sent me the link while I was away.
Yeah. Now that what's his face?
Koosman?
Yeah, but the guy. Oh my God, I can't think of the old Mets PR guy who's now head of the Alumni Association.
I'll be drawing a blank. Anyways, go on.
Can you look it up for me? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die over here. What's his face? Anyway, Horowitz. Okay. Jay Horowitz. Now he's in charge. They decided to, rightfully so, retire a Mets number that isn't in the Baseball Hall of Fame with number 36.
You gonna put
Jerry Koosman. He was what I always said was the Thor to DeGrom. Yeah. He was to Seaver, but he was better than Thor. He was on the mound, complete game for the last game of the World Series in 1969. He is elite. He is amazing. He is a legend. He is the right choice for the next number to retire. And it looks like every few years they might have more people being retired, and that makes me feel so good. That's so good because so many people deserve it. Because now you know who's going to get retired as the years go on.
Yeah.
Now. You know Carter is going to be retired posthumously. Yeah. You know Hernandez is going to be retired. Questionable about Doc and Straw, but you know those two. Possibly Bud Harrelson, possibly Rusty Staub, possibly Tug McGraw. I would think John Franco. Mm-hmm. Now you know for sure that David will be retired.
Yeah, not anytime soon, I would say.
No, but they got time on that. They got time for. I would say longer than that with them, but.
But yeah, that was good news. I was happy to see that, and I watched some videos and clips on Koosman, and I was actually very surprised the type of player that he was.
Yeah, he was amazing. So I'm very happy about that.
He was kind of more like not your generation, but like you growing up as a Mets fan. Like
I didn't really know about him. I didn't really know about him.
I didn't know much about him.
I didn't grow up in a house of Met fans, so it was like everything I had to learn, I learned on my own, and I was so enthralled in the 86, 87, 88, 89, you know.
But for me, if I go back, like I became a Mets fan in like 04, 05, and when I first started off, like I vaguely knew about the 2000 Mets team that made it, the 86 team, but like you said, it was things that I learned on my own, and then from the 1969 championship team, I was just like, oh yeah, I like
Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver, yeah, it's like I knew some names scattered there, I knew like how the last play of the game was. They
you also see a lot of movies,
Other than that, I didn't know much about it, so I think it was cool. I think it brings younger Met fans to appreciate the history that the Mets have.
Agreed. They should have done it this year.
What's going on? Oh,
Siri thought you said her name.
To unlock your iPhone first.
Lovely.
Right, they should have done that this year, but better late than never.
For sure.
So, I guess we have one Met meme today.
I have no idea what you're showing.
All right, so this is the Met meme that I found.
Is it up on the screen?
It is now.
Okay.
So there it is, because as we all know that Aaron Judge, and I have nothing against Aaron Judge, he seems like a cool dude, and him and Alonso are going to be getting dinner soon, but he had the home run record for a rookie. I think he established it 2 years ago, and Pete has broken it. It's 2 New York rookies.
That is amazing.
Yes, it
truly is. Just think about it. Say you're an outsider, and you're an outsider in terms of a baseball fan. I don't know. Say you're a Milwaukee fan, and if you think, wow, look at New York. There are 2 young players that are crosstown rivals.
Yes.
Rookies with the highest ceilings. And don't get me wrong, Mets fans, I know we always knock the Yankees, but Aaron Judge is probably going to be the face of that franchise. And with him pretty much passing on the torch in terms of the Mets rookie record, I think it's pretty cool.
It is,
and I'm excited to see these young players kind of showing what they got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they really are the faces of each other's franchises.
Yeah.
So it is a special time for that.
It is,
'Cause
but
you
also
don't-
this meme is
because you don't get much
hilarious.
of that because, like, you know, Jeter and the Fab Four, whatever, the Core Five.
Well, they kind of, like,
they were
overshadowed
older
the
by the
Mets.
time, but also they were over by the time we had Jose
Yeah.
in 2003 and Wright in 2004 and whatnot. It never really linked up to really coming up at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. And but this is hilarious. So he's his daddy.
This is a good
He's his
meme.
daddy.
I think this is in good fun.
It is a good
Yeah.
one. And they're like they're good. Like they were talking about how like they met like on base and that was basically it. And Aaron was like, yeah, I got the steak the first dinner.
Yeah.
He can get it after that.
Gotcha.
So that's cool. And they both won home run derbies. I mean, I will say the balls are juiced this year. We know that, but they've been juiced before. But we also have a lot of Yankee fans have talked about that to me, like, hey, it's not legitimate. You also have a Little League stadium, so the scales are balanced. Anyway, Mike says the Mets have
We got questions?
I would say not a question, just a comment. Like, the Mets have Seaver, Ryan, and Kuzman as their 1, 2, 3, which is gross. God, that's so true. How nasty that 1, 2, 3. Think about that
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Nolan fucking Ryan, who they never gave a true chance here.
I know.
But the
it.
skeptic in me does say he never would have become Nolan Ryan, but that's beside the point. But yeah, that is nasty.
How long are we into the show?
We're about done.
About
We're about 106.
60 minutes?
Let's wrap this
Yeah.
up, and we'll come back with a more.
I mean, let's give
Form show,
Yeah.
but-
I guess for now, since we're currently watching postseason baseball, what are your picks? Who's gonna make it to the World Series and who's gonna win?
Because these are predictions that can go wrong tonight.
So let's start off with this game that's going on right now.
Well, I mean,
between
St. Louis
and
is
Atlanta.
going to the NLCS.
Okay, St. Louis is going to the championship series. How about tonight's game with the Dodgers and Washington?
There's a part of me that says Washington can pull this off, but
I have the Dodgers.
I have the Dodgers. And we have to have a whole segment in the off season about because I went to Dodger Stadium on my
Awesome.
vacation.
Yeah, I
And
also
we-
I did a cool trip as well, so we could talk
Yeah, we'll talk about
um,
it. But I have some feelings
Cool.
on that stadium and how that organization is run. Anyway, that's beside the point.
So
I have the
in the
Dodgers
NLCS
versus the I have the Dodgers going back to the World Series.
Really, I think I'd give a chance to the Cardinals to make it to the World Series.
I don't.
Really?
You
don't feel? I mean, I wouldn't say like I would feel super confident, but I could see them. And then look,
I honestly, at this point, I could see, with the exception of Atlanta, who's losing 13-1 in the sixth, with the exception of Atlanta, I could see any of these three teams right now technically getting to the World Series because it's kind of no holds barred at this point.
but I don't really see the Nationals making it to the World Series. I'd give a higher chance. So with St. Louis going to the next round, with the score, if the score stays, the Dodgers have a better chance of beating the Cardinals versus if the Nationals face the Cardinals.
Agreed. I think the Nationals will lose to the Cardinals.
I would say my favorite going into this is that the Cardinals. I mean, I know the Dodgers. They have how they finish their season.
They were over 100 wins.
They're over 100 wins, but I feel like they always make it to the World Series and then they
yeah.
just fall flat.
Yeah, this will be the third year in a row.
Yeah.
I do think the Dodgers will get to the World Series.
Okay.
But I would hope that you'd be right and it'd be St. Louis. I do.
Cool. All right,
as
so
far
let's
as
go. I mean, now we
it's
got to
all
go
about
to the AL.
if I think Houston will pull it out, and I think
Man, dude, I was watching that game yesterday, and I saw Justin Verlander on 3 days rest.
that was hard to watch.
I do not know why they put him in. I don't
know why they kept him in.
I told my friend Mike, I was just like, hey man, watch by the third inning. They're probably going to take out Verlander because he's going to be tired and he's going to give up 3 to 4 runs, and that's what happened. And the bats didn't show for the Astros, and then obviously the Rays took advantage that Verlander was on short rest, and then they won the game. They tied up the series. I also have I have my fingers crossed that Houston will go on to the next round. If they do, they will be a little bit fatigued
Yes.
because I believe Garrett Cole is going tomorrow. Is pitching tomorrow for them, and then that means Zach Greinke is going to be pitching Game 1 against the Yankees,
And
and
then
that should be
Verlander.
interesting. I mean, depending on the rest and whatever.
Because the rest was Tuesday, that would be on Sunday,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, then you got Verlander, then Garrett Cole going.
and they have home field advantage.
Yeah.
My gut says the Yankees will win the World Series this year.
Really?
No, my gut says the Yankees are beating the Dodgers this year.
So you're telling you
I
won't
want
even.
it to be the Astros.
So
very
if it's the
badly.
Yankees versus the Astros, that best of 7, what do you have?
Yankees versus Astros?
If the Yankees are winning that series,
What do you mean? Like,
Like-
how many games it goes?
yeah, how many games does it go?
6.
6?
Yeah.
I think it goes 7. 7 with the Astros winning.
I hope you're right. I want you to be right. I don't want to be right.
Yeah.
I desperately want to be wrong.
Okay, so my prediction is that Houston.
My track
wins the
record so
World
far
Series.
this season is I'm right, but
Yeah.
that's just not the point.
Let's go. Maybe you were good in the regular season. Maybe
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope you had the playoff surge. Yeah, no, I think the Yankees will win the World Series. I
Yeah.
don't want it. I don't
They're
want to
gonna
deal
be-
with
they would be
28, 28, 28.
They would beat the Dodgers or the Cardinals easily. Or
Cardinals
you-
they're rolling over it like a fucking
Yeah.
Zamboni. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers will give them a run for their money, but ultimately, I think Kurt choke. I got to come up with a good thing
Yeah.
for that. I think he chokes again.
Okay. All right. So you have the Yankees winning the World Series.
I hate myself for it.
Yeah.
I think that goes to Game 7.
I have Houston.
I hope you're right. I want it to be Houston.
Yeah.
I've been really successful at calling who wins the World Series for the last like 8 years.
Really?
And I've
Oh,
never been
damn.
wrong.
Wow.
And I called the Yankees
good
in
talent.
like March.
Nice. All right.
It's not a good talent because it's never the fucking Mets. But,
So with that being said, I think we will wrap up tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in. And what is this?
So you can do your sign off.
Oh yeah, because the papers that I throw.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Sean.
Everyone, thank you for watching. We had a steady
Yeah.
stream of 4 to 6 people tonight. We appreciate it. We love
Yes,
you.
and considering that we were back, for those of you who stuck with us even when we were inactive, thank you so much. And even going now into the playoffs and then even the postseason, we still want to be able to give you coverage about baseball, New York Mets, and
Yes.
everything going around.
And we'll be a little more niche of a show in the off season. We'll
Yes.
have specific topics we talk about. Obviously, whenever news comes up, we'll be here. But we'll be able to talk about some things you don't get to talk about in the regular season.
Absolutely.
Some of them silly, some of them
Yeah,
meaningful.
we're gonna have a little bit more
yeah.
fun.
And any topics you have, send them
Yeah.
in. And yeah, so
There we go. All
there
right.
you go. Thank you for watching. And this one's for you, Mister. Mister, my cat passed away.
R.I.P. Mister.
Yes. So good night, everybody.
Thank you.